Welcome to the Geekiverse Show. My name is Josiah. I've got Adam with me today. We're talking a little bit about Call of Duty, the recently released Black Ops 3. Here at the Geekiverse, it left us a little bit underwhelmed with specifically the campaign, because the multiplayer it's good as always.
Every Call of Duty. It's the typical multiplayer game.
It's a cookie cutter year after year, but you know what? What's not broke, you shouldn't fix, right? So we are talking a little bit about the campaigns in terms of how they were, and I was admittedly really upset, I guess, with Black Ops 3 campaign. The first two Black Ops games had such a great story arc, and they were probably my favorite Call of Duty campaigns. And then Black Ops 3 it
falls apart.
It's disconnected. It's unfocused. I've had conversations with maybe 3 or 4 people. We all have no idea what's going on with the ending there. We've looked at videos, and they're just theories at this point, and I don't like the ambiguity there.
Full disclaimer, I have not played Black Ops 3 to the end of the campaign. I've only seen the stuff that's come out on the Let's Plays and everything else. But I said earlier when we were not filming, you can always tell when a campaign's not good because you can go to YouTube and really... people are going to do full plays and everything else. That's a huge market. But for the most part, you're not seeing the big name people doing a lot of full play Let's Plays on it. Like, look at Achievement Hunter. They did one Let's Play. It was the first mission. That's gone. Look at KYR Speedy, Sidearms, The Crew, all those guys. They did one Let's Play. It's the first mission. They didn't do anything else. Everybody's focusing on the multiplayer of this. And again, not even many people are focusing on that because it's just a typical Call of Duty. My opinions on this whole thing, I think I summed it up pretty well, and I probably should have written it somewhere or something. But this game to me kind of is a mashup of all of the good parts of games that came out recently.
Sure.
So there's pieces of Titanfall in here. You got the wall running.
Totally.
Great mechanic. Titanfall, say what you want about it.
It was my Titanfall for 2014 was my shooter of the year.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Say what you want about it. I like it. It's fun to just kind of it's a veg out game for me. I could just sit there and just veg out on Titanfall for an hour or so.
It's a freaking blast.
Yeah.
We'll get a campaign for that sequel. So we'll be good.
So you get that. Then you have the supers, which are basically you can draw comparisons not maybe to the exact ones, but it's basically Destiny. You play a little bit of multiplayer in Destiny. You got supers that not randomly, but they generate over time.
Sure.
And then you got typical Call of Duty, or maybe not typical Call of Duty. Let's stick with Advanced Warfare. You've got that kind of futuristic feel to things. It's just, it seems like all they did was they came in and said, we need to come up with another game. Well, let's just take all of these other games and pick parts that we like, and then make one game out of it. And then we'll call it Black Ops 3, and everybody will buy it because it will say Call of Duty on it.
I totally agree, and I think that's the thing. Black Ops is arguably the biggest seller now for them. It used to be Modern Warfare.
Yep, and then they stopped that.
And
they didn't stop it. They
trilogy, right?
Yeah, they wrapped up the storyline of it.
So if this puts it in perspective, if you've played these campaigns, I like Ghost's campaign better than Black Ops 3.
Ghost is arguably one of the best campaigns in Call of Duty.
Yes and no. I would put it middle of the pack. That's my personal opinion. But Black Ops 3 I have heightened expectations for, or had heightened expectations for. Activision, usually April, May, they come out with their what is going to be the new Call of Duty the next year, and they tease it, and at E3 and at gaming conventions later, maybe Gamescom, depending on where you go, they tease the single player a lot. They talk about what it's about. I knew nothing about this, picking this up at our release.
They didn't release anything.
And that tells you why maybe. I'm just disappointed. Don't slap Black Ops on a game like this that is just another Call of Duty. Call it Call of Duty Futures. Call it something else. Nanobug technology.
Anything.
Just anything else. And it really upset me.
You talked a little bit before we started filming about, Advanced Warfare. Great campaign. It had Kevin Spacey in it.
Loved it.
Perfect. Kevin Spacey... I love Kevin Spacey in anything he's ever done. But to see him in that digital realm, the video game realm of it, was fantastic.
Translated beautifully.
And then you get the guy who plays Elliot Stabler in the new one. Like,
yeah, it was.
Where'd you come up with like?
It's another half-baked thing.
Yeah,
right?
like
now they had 3 years to develop this. So Call of Duty has 3 developers. They have Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer currently in a 3-year rotation.
And then Activision runs their servers.
Yes. So
or does that? Yeah, Activision runs their servers.
So in essence, this was their first 3-year cycle as opposed to the old 2-year cycle. So after Black Ops 2 ended in 2012, that would make 3 years.
Yeah.
They had quite a bit of time to really come up with a good story, and that's what's most disappointing. People may say, why do you care about a Call of Duty campaign that's 6 hours of shoot here, follow your guy there? I love those campaigns because they're a nice break from something maybe more cinematically involved like Halo, even though it is a shooter. Something like this, just it's fun to run and gun sometimes.
I mean, I love multiplayer. I play multiplayer all the time. It's fun.
You're a big Destiny guy, right?
I'm huge on Destiny. A little bit less now because Destiny runs into the problem for me is that it runs out. Like you play through Destiny, and you play through Destiny again, and you play through Destiny again, and then finally you're just like, okay, enough. I get it. Nolan North, I got it. The Ghost is opening doors, and you got guns, and they're all different.
Where's Peter Dinklage?
Like everything, it just gets to the point where it's like, okay, enough. I need to play something else. But
I did that. I came back to it. Yeah.
Black Ops 3 came out. I was super kind of hyped about it. I was like,
let's do this.
Another Call of Duty game's gonna come out. I'm gonna start playing Black Ops 2. Kind of get back. I haven't played a lot of Call of Duty. I stopped playing it. Like, Call of Duty is another one for me that I get burned out on Call of Duty a lot.
It's every year.
So I picked up Black Ops 2. I started playing it. I'm terrible at it. Like, I haven't played it in forever.
That's my favorite campaign of all of them.
And for me, it's completely opposite. I thought that campaign was weird.
I love the RPG elements. There's very subtle RPG elements, but I love
very
the choices.
little. But it's like
you can have different endings, and that's weird for a Call of Duty game.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But like to me, it was just like that. Like it was just you start here and then you're flashing back and then you're back, and like sometimes it was kind of difficult to figure out which was a flashback and which was a moment of
Sure. Like, if you think that's bad, Black Ops 3 just takes the cake.
I'm not excited about it. No. Like like I said, I haven't played it. I don't even have the next gen yet. Hopefully, Dad's sitting over there in the corner. Maybe I'll get something for Christmas or something. It's possible. He's shaking his head now.
That might be a no-go.
Probably not. But like, I'm gonna get the Xbox One, and I'm not for the first time ever. I'm not excited to get the Xbox One for like a new Call of Duty game. I said
that sucks.
Yeah, like that's the pinnacle of gaming. I guess we could really. What can you say in video gaming now?
In multiplayer shooters,
the standalone game that makes everybody come back to gaming is a Call of Duty game.
Totally.
Think about it. You've had all the way from World War II through Vietnam. Now you're into like these futuristic wars and everything else. Like
you're getting close to the year 2100.
Yeah, like you've spanned just the amount of time. Just if we don't even talk about like years of campaign, just in general, Call of Duty has lasted forever. It's been there since the PlayStation 1 or did it
PS2?
It started on PlayStation 2.
End of the generation, I believe.
Yeah, and a typical gaming console average generation is about 10 years.
Sure.
Give or take a little bit. There's some variation there, but the average amount is every 10 years. It's a 10-year cycle. It's lasted for 10 years, and they're still coming out with new ones. Like it's a game that the Call of Duty brand is probably not going away in the foreseeable future.
It's a Hall of Fame game. It's going to be there for a while.
And I mean, can we talk about just for a sec, like getting back on Black Ops 3? Let's get back on the fact that so they started releasing one for the 360 too, and
doesn't have a campaign.
It doesn't have the campaign. It doesn't have the weapon customization. It doesn't have every single week. It feels like you come out with something, and there's just another thing that the Black Ops 3 version of the 360 is missing. And they're like, they came out originally and said, look, it's going to be missing all this stuff. Don't worry about it. We're not going to charge you full price. Instead, we're just going to charge you $40. It's not a complete game, and you're knocked down 20.
It might be 50.
It might be.
It might be 50. I'm pretty sure it's 50. But
there'll
either
be
way,
an annotation somewhere that tells you how much it is.
regardless,
but, like,
let's say 40 or 50. Either way, it's
is
not
it worth that when you don't have the campaign? You don't have, like, you basically don't have anything that the game.
right.
You have a basic Call of Duty. I can go and get a basic Call of Duty from a local GameStop
But from any 10.
for $20.
Yeah. That's the thing, and that's disappointing. We talked a little bit because single-player shooters are or campaigns are kind of going out. I mean, Titanfall, Evolve, and now Star Wars Battlefront have not had them. Rainbow Six Siege hasn't had them, and that's fine. But
Does a game like Rainbow Six really need that? Like Rainbow Six Siege,
yes and no.
I've seen a lot of, like, Achievement Hunter has been doing a lot of
Sure.
stuff for that, and not to keep plugging Achievement Hunter, but like they're a big source of like what's popular and stuff, and they've been doing a lot of Siege gameplay, and it's I don't like the more I see of it, the more I'm like I could not need a campaign for this. Like I could just breach the house and play the demolition and all that stuff.
That's where I
over
was
and
with
over again.
Titanfall, and you know what? That's to a point where I am with Battlefront. I love Star Wars, and I would eat
It
up
looks
a campaign.
amazing. It looked like
It's phenomenal.
I said this also before we started recording. I have never gone into a gaming, like a new generation, and said, "Oh my God, I need this console for this game." And the more I see Battlefront, the more I'm like, I have enough money. I can just go buy it right now, and I can do it. And I'm holding myself back because like I'm not gonna have that. Like I need that money and stuff like that. But it's
Sure.
it's the game that makes me want to move up.
It's beautiful. I can vouch for that. If you go to www.thegeekiverse.com, we wrote our review for it. We also wrote our Black Ops 3 review prior from Andrew Garvey, one of our editors. Take a look at the review scores. I don't want to tell you here. Go look at them. One has a campaign, one doesn't have a campaign. The way Adam and I are talking about, you would assume not having a campaign would result in a lower score. Not necessarily the case. Just go read them and get some insight. But it for all the stats that they have that say gamers don't play past the second mission in Call of Duty, it matters.
There's
And
2 gamers right here that play past the first 2 missions. Like
I don't touch multiplayer until I finish the
Me
single
too.
player.
Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like I don't treat the campaign as a.
It's not an add-on to me. It's important.
It's not even that. Like it's almost like the campaign teaches me how to play the game.
Yeah, you go online and then you realize you're still awful, but you know,
But like
you're not as awful as
but
you could have been.
You understand how it works. Like
Yeah.
with Advanced Warfare, that's the first real look at futuristic Call of Duty warfare that we had. That with like the jumping over things and everything else. If I didn't have a campaign for that, do you know how long it would have taken me to figure out like, oh, I can dodge?
Yeah, you
like,
have to do those embarrassing tutorials.
Yeah,
You have some achievements you can't get away.
yeah, like it to me, like the campaign, if you whatever you want to say, how bad it is, how good it is, whatever, I play through every campaign before I touch the multiplayer to learn the game.
Precisely.
So
and that's a part of it. So I think you've got 2 opinions here from people who have been involved with gaming for a long time. Please bring back single player campaigns and don't half bake them. Really put some time into them.
put some time into it. Like I mean, just because I'm saying I use it to learn the game, doesn't mean I don't want to be entertained.
I love a good
Like,
story.
Like my biggest problem, you keep bringing up Titanfall and stuff. My biggest problem with that is like it has a campaign, but it's like well, it does.
It's a hybrid campaign.
It has a storyline to it. The problem is you have to join an online lobby, which could be playing any of those story missions at any point. I still don't know what happens. Like there's robots and something happens and there's a war and
Campaign is a loose term for that.
you're fighting and then
So-
someone wins and I don't know. It's bizarre to me, but
It's interesting. Well, you know, we've got a Titanfall 2. Evolve will probably be a franchise, I imagine. Battlefront is
I hope
here to
Evolve
stay.
works out. Evolve looks cool.
But, you know, I will say, Evolve is fun. You've got to have the friends to play it, though.
Yeah.
With the 4 versus 1. I picked it up right at launch and I've barely touched it, but it's a game I plan on revisiting. And you know, you and I both love Destiny, and there's really arguably not a great story in that.
There's not, and every time we say we want more story, they give us this little snapshot of story, and then like
Or they change
that's it.
actors.
or they change actors. They're like, oh, you want story? All right, we'll go get another guy for story. And
It's like,
Oh.
I think I'd like to see Troy Baker next. Yeah.
instead of them saying, all right, well, we'll give you more story. Instead of the ghost going over and saying, I'll open that door, now he says, there's this whole book on Toland's journal. Let me read it. All right, so yeah, this is what we need to do. Like,
Just, yeah.
all right, well,
It's an interesting choice, right?
thanks for that story.
Well, we want to hear what your thoughts are on this. Are you like us, or do you not care about the campaigns when it comes to shooters? Multiplayer is awesome, and Call of Duty nails it as good as anybody out there. Leave your comments in the section below here on YouTube. Also visit us at our website, www.thegeekiverse.com. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Josiah D. Leroy. Adam?
Can't really find me on Twitter. I don't really
He's
use
a ghost.
it that I don't really use it that much. But
so you might want to just follow the Geekiverse at the
follow the
_Geekiverse.
Geekiverse or go subscribe to Wingman Gaming on YouTube, and you'll see a lot of Let's Plays and stuff.
Adam does
there.
some commentaries. You can see him play some Destiny on there, and
I'm sure
very entertaining.
I'm sure I'm gonna have some guest stars. Probably someone sitting next to me at some point. We'll have something. We'll have something. I was talking about Jeff over there.
Oh,
Sorry.
whatever.
We'll talk about it, and we'll have something cool for you guys out there.
Thanks for watching.